Still, our brothers out in the UK, our brothers out in Africa, the people who I'm saying will literally be the force that can save black America are actually up right now. So if you know anybody overseas, anybody who's living in another country where there's this black population of any size, definitely you should share this to them and let them know that in America we are in cold red right now. We are in crisis mode, and I would like to be the first person to extend the invitation and let black people who are considering immigrating into the United States for whatever reason, I will be like the first person to roll out the welcome wagon for them and tell them we are in crisis mode as a group of people in America, as black people, and we really need your help. I would also like to appeal to all the black people who are immigrants, legal or illegal, the descendants of immigrants. I would like to appeal to them to continue to be in America and continue to work and do what they're doing, because at this point it really feels like they are the last chance when it comes to black people having a footprint in this country, whether it be economically, politically, spiritually, all the leads, you know what I'm saying? You can, even morally, it seems like those people are kind of like the reinforcements that are needed in this country when it comes to the black community, who can kind of bolster our efforts and bring maybe some new ideas, some fresh perspectives, some strong backs to do the real work of establishing an economic infrastructure or a political infrastructure for black people in the United States of America. Everywhere you look, you see black on black hatred. Entities such as FBA, ADOS, led by Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell, they tell you every chance they get that the number one biggest threat to your ability to dwell in the North American theater, to thrive here, to raise a family here, to secure safety and peace and productivity, the number one threat to that is people from other geographical locations around the world who seek to come here and do nothing more than, quote unquote, undermine your efforts to secure, I don't even know what exactly you're trying to secure, other than maybe reparations in the form of cash payments from the European and his descendants, who you feel are the offspring of those who enslaved your ancestors. The reality is this: immigration saved America.
Okay, last time I checked, drugs are illegal in the United States, which will make all these Pan-Africanists criminals because they're obviously high off of something. This illusion that everybody on planet Earth with dark skin and Negroid features are the same people is delusional. First of all, Boochie Bear starts off by calling all black people on planet Earth our brothers and sisters. But the problem is, all the black people from other countries and continents don't view us as their brothers and sisters. That's what Pan-Africanists don't understand. They don't understand that never in the history of the entire planet have all black people on earth been united as one big tribe. Ever. Ever. In the whole history of human beings, never have all black people on earth been united as one. These Pan-Africanists are delusional. He called FBA, aka Foundational Black Americans, a hate group. How can a lineage be a hate group? That doesn't make sense. And when these immigrants migrate to the United States, they do undermine foundational black Americans because they don't care about foundational black Americans. They're only here for a come up for themselves. When Nigerians come to the United States, they're for a come up for themselves. They don't want to break bread with the foundational black Americans. Neither do Haitians, neither do Jamaicans, neither do Afro-Latinos. They just come here for a come up for themselves. They don't have the interests of foundational Black Americans at heart. That's a fact. Nobody that's listening to this podcast can name one thing as a group that Africans, Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos, or any other group of so-called Black people from any other country have done for foundational Black Americans. Name one thing. I'll wait. Crickets! It's all a one-way street. We do for them, they do literally nothing for us. Immigrants saved America. What? The immigrants came to America en masse after the ancestors of foundational Black Americans had already built America and made it an economic superpower. There wasn't anything to save. How did immigrants save America when they come to save their own countries? Make that make sense, Pan-Africanists?
They had an infusion of white Europeans into this country at different points in its history. Those people brought new desire. They brought new fire, new motivation, new ideas, new foods, new cultures to the shores of this country that helped to secure their position as the dominant group in this landscape. Everyone talks about delineation, but the group that is dominating you, the group that you beg for reparations, the group that you feel will be able to fix all of your problems, this group did the very opposite of what the losers that you follow mindlessly tell you today. They didn't delineate, they integrated amongst themselves. And in the beginning, there was just as division among them as there is among us. But somewhere along the line, they learned to let bygones be bygones. They learned to compromise and understand that the one thing, the values, the morals that they had in common greatly outweighed any petty differences that they were allowing to keep them fragmented. And that, my friends, is how these people rose to the top of the heap so rapidly. During the 1870s and 1880s, the vast majority of these people were from Germany, Ireland, and England. Now, Germany, Ireland, and England are three different countries. Ethnically diverse, culturally diverse, linguistically diverse. They are not the same, though they share the same skin tone.
That's the same point about Black people, you idiot! Do you see how hypocritical these Pan-Africanists are? He just pointed out the fact that the Germans, the Irish, and the English share the same skin tone, but are culturally and ethnically different. Not the same people. That's the same thing we're trying to make a point about Black people, you Pan-Africanists idiots! It's the same thing! And you got the nerve to call FBA a hate group because we're stating facts?
All people from all three of those groups flooded into America. Fast forward to today, you wouldn't be able to tell someone whose parents migrated here from Germany in the 1870s, apart from someone whose parents migrated here from Ireland in the 1880s, or from a person whose parents migrated here from England in the 1850s. They all came together based on one common denominator. Much in the way once a Jamaican person has dwelled in the United States for several generations, their children will cease to be Jamaican and they will become Black Americans.
Lies! If you are not a direct descendant of the slaves in the United States, you are not a Black American, period. No matter how many generations you've been here, a Jamaican will be a Caribbean American. not a black American or foundational black American. These Pan-Africanists live in La La Land. They are delusional. Boochie Bear is tripping. Pan-Africanism strikes back? Nah. Pan-Africanism smokes crack. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. The AP All Purpose Channel, where we cover all subjects, whether you like it or not.
How do Senegalese really feel about slavery and what happened? Because, you know, there are a lot of very foul people involved in the slave trade. There was, of course, Europeans, you know, Jews and whites were involved, but, you know, Africans were involved in it as well. They were selling off their enemies, you know, the enemy tribes and making their money and so forth. Like, how was slavery really looked at out there?
Well, in Senegal, we've kind of overcome the thought of slavery. We don't even think about it. The only time we think about it, honestly, is when we're doing tours that go to the island.
If you want reparations, I'm fully okay with funding your reparations. I think this would be great. This would be a great reparations. Reparations would be a one-way ticket. You're banned from the country. You cannot come back. Don't try to say you're going to take this ticket and make a vacation and come back. I will pay, I will put whatever donation I can to have you take a one-way ticket to whatever the hell else country you want to go to and you never come back. That's the reparations I can give you. If this country is so bad, we've got it solved. I think I've solved reparations, everybody. Let them know. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Sheila Lee, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, Katie Porter. Somebody wake up Dianne Feinstein. Nancy P. Wake her up too and tell her to put down the bottle. I solved reparations. You get a one-way boat ticket, taxi, you get a one-way Uber, you get a one-way plane ticket, boat ticket to get the hell up out of here and never come back. And this country would be so much better off for it.
That's slave food. I don't do that, babe. I'm not a slave. I was never a slave. I don't know how slaves cook. I was never a slave. I know where my grandfather came from, my great-grandfather, and where all their ass came from. Your ass don't even know.